This is the Black Sea. It is a place where NATO and the Russian Navy come face to face. Dozens of warships sail in these waters, and countless fighter jets fly overhead. On one side is NATO, determined to dominate the Black Sea with all its might. On the other is Russia, with nothing left to lose. And in between these two giants are 5 other countries with a stake in the sea. Russia is advancing further into this sea every day. First they occupied Crimea, and now they want to seize Odessa and cut Ukraine's connection to the Black Sea. NATO is trying to protect the Black Sea by establishing massive bases in Romania and Bulgaria. Finally, Turkey decides which ships can pass through the straits under the Montreux Convention. If Turkey does not give permission, Russian ships will be stuck in the Black Sea. Or conversely, if Turkey does not give permission, NATO ships cannot enter this sea. Turkey will be the country that determines who the real winner is. The waters in the Black Sea are heating up day by day. A single ship hit, a single plane shot down, or a single wrong step taken here could spark a NATO-Russia war. There are 3 main reasons why the Black Sea is so important. The first is geopolitical. The Black Sea is a direct maritime border for Russia and NATO. The 3 countries here, Bulgaria, Romania, and Turkey, are NATO member states. Georgia and Ukraine also wanted to join NATO but have not yet become members. So looking at the map, we see that Russia is surrounded by NATO in the Black Sea. In response, Russia attempted to break NATO's power by occupying Crimea in 2014. So why can't Russia give up this sea? This brings us to the second reason. The Black Sea is strategically very important for Russia. The Black Sea is not the only place where Russia has a coastline. It also has coastlines on the Arctic Ocean, the Pacific Ocean, and the Atlantic Ocean. But the geography there is very harsh. The ports freeze for most of the year. You've probably heard this phrase since childhood. Russia wants access to warm seas. Don't think of warm seas as beaches, sand, and sun. Warm seas actually mean ports that don't freeze. For Russia to reach the Mediterranean, it must first establish dominance in the Black Sea. The Black Sea also has military significance. The security of NATO's eastern flank begins here. This is the first line of defense against threats Russia could pose to European countries. However, the opposite is also true. The Black Sea is in a crucial position for Russia to deploy its missile systems and strike NATO's land targets. Thanks to its bases in the Black Sea, Russia's firing range extends by tens of kilometers. The third reason is, of course, money. The Black Sea is a sea where every country with a coastline has built large ports. Russia trades heavy industrial products such as iron, steel, and coal through its ports here. Ukraine is the world's largest wheat producer. Thanks to the ports on the Black Sea, it ships goods all over the world. If these ports were to close, the food security of dozens of countries, especially in Africa, would be directly threatened. Finally, energy. The Black Sea is actually an energy corridor between Russia and European countries. Pipelines such as the Turkish Stream and Blue Stream pass through the bottom of the Black Sea. A new war here would mean Europe facing a new energy crisis. Not only pipelines, but the Black Sea is also a transit route. Oil tankers loaded at major ports in Russia must pass through the Istanbul and Çanakkale Straits to reach world markets. Turkey has sole control over these straits. In such a situation, Turkey would close the straits, and global oil prices would be immediately affected. The Black Sea is undoubtedly one of the most important seas in the world, but the reason we are talking about it today is not its importance, but the constant tension that exists there. The first breaking point in the Black Sea was Russia's invasion of Crimea. In 2014, Ukrainian President Viktor Yanukovych was overthrown after months of protests. After leaving office, he was forced to flee to Russia. Meanwhile, Putin seized the political vacuum in Ukraine as an opportunity and invaded Crimea. This event completely changed the geopolitical balance in the Black Sea. Russia was now ahead of NATO 1-0 because the port of Sevastopol in Crimea was now in the hands of the Russian Navy. Russia established a large military base there and increased its military power in the Black Sea. On February 24, 2022, Vladimir Putin announced in a video broadcast early in the morning that he was launching an operation in Ukraine.
Мною принято решение о проведении специальной военной операции.
This was the beginning of a war that would last for years. But Putin's first target was not Ukrainian territory, but Snake Island in the Black Sea. This move allowed Russia to expand its area of operation in the Black Sea. It could now monitor the Ukrainian coastline. So the score was now 2-0. NATO's move was not long in coming. It made its temporary bases in Romania permanent. It modernized these bases. Romania had now become the main hub for NATO aircraft. In short, NATO had established a permanent presence in the Black Sea. Just a few months after NATO's arrival, Russia suffered one of the biggest defeats in its history. The date was April 14, 2022. The Moskva, the largest ship in the Black Sea Fleet, was anchored near Ukrainian waters. The Ukrainian army first directed Bayraktar TB2 drones toward the ship. This was actually a fake attack. While the ship was dealing with the drones, Ukrainian soldiers fired Neptune anti-ship missiles, and the Moskva was hit. It sank shortly thereafter. There is another version of the story. According to the Russian army, ammunition exploded, causing a fire on the ship, which sank due to bad weather conditions while being towed to port. Whichever story you choose to believe, the result was 2-2. The Moskva was the largest ship lost by the Russian Navy after World War II. Russia's counterattack came a year later. A Russian warplane shot down a US military drone. This was the first physical contact between Russia and NATO since the start of the Ukraine war. Over the years, Russia managed to gain control of the entire Sea of Azov. This was its greatest military achievement in the Black Sea. Today, Russia completely controls the Sea of Azov. Now, their next target is the port of Odessa. Odessa is a highly strategic location. If Russia manages to seize it, it will completely sever Ukraine's connection to the Black Sea. Ukraine conducts 65% of its trade through this port. If the port falls into Russia's hands, not only will Ukraine's economy suffer a major blow, but Russian dominance will also be established in the Black Sea. In response, NATO's move was to arm Ukraine's coastline. NATO deployed advanced naval defense weapons such as Harpoon and Neptune to Ukraine. This is where we can get involved in the story. With the Montreux Convention, Turkey can indirectly control military power in the Black Sea. Turkey is a key country in the Black Sea. So if Turkey wishes, it can refuse passage to warships from countries without Black Sea coastlines, or even if it grants passage, it can expel them after 21 days. It can also impose restrictions on the total tonnage of ships allowed to the Black Sea. All foreign warships wishing to enter the Black Sea must obtain permission from Turkey before transiting. Since Russia has a coastline on the Black Sea, Turkey cannot interfere with Russian warships. But it can indirectly control Russia. If it does not allow Russian ships to use the straits, the Russian Navy will be stuck in the Black Sea and will never be able to reach its greatest dream of warm seas. Turkey plays a key role in the Black Sea and is a NATO member. If a conflict were to arise between Russia and NATO in this sea, Turkey could find itself right in the middle of it. This leads us to the question, which side has a larger navy? Let's look at each side individually. Turkey and Russia each have one aircraft carrier, while NATO has 14 aircraft carriers. Russia has 15 destroyers, while NATO has over 100 destroyers. Russia has 11 frigates. Turkey has 17. NATO has 70. Russia has 86 corvettes. Turkey has 43, and NATO has over 150. The most important vessels for the Navy are submarines. Russia has 63, Turkey has 12, and NATO has over 100. Finally, warships. Russia has over 300, Turkey has 182, and NATO has over 700 warships. Looking at the numbers, NATO has an overwhelming advantage. But what really matters is being able to enter the Black Sea and even exit it. The key to the Black Sea is in Turkey's hands. If a real war ever breaks out in the Black Sea, Turkey's moves will determine the winner. The waters of the Black Sea are heating up for now, but let's hope they never reach boiling point, because watching a war on YouTube may be entertaining, but it is actually the worst thing that can happen to a country. So I want to end this video with the most beautiful sentence I can think of. In the words of Ataturk, peace at home, peace in the world.